With the purpose of a mission statement, that's a question that I'm oftentimes asked. What is the purpose of one? Well, basically it becomes, the engine that drives what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis. There was an interesting exercise that we used to do years ago at a university where I was a vice president, and I always thought it was a great exercise. I conceived it, and so I thought it was a really great exercise. But essentially what I would do is I'd write down on a sheet of paper the mission statement of our organization. And then I had, 15 or 20 people that were directly, accountable to me. And I'd bring them into my office, and I'd kind of read them the mission statement. And it was on a sheet of paper, an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and on the top of it was the mission statement. And I'd explain every clause. This is why we exist. This is the things that we do. And of course, you have a job in this department and so forth. And so here's what I want you to do. There's a big section in the middle of the paper that's blank. I want you to take this paper, and I want you to come back in a week, and I want you to tell me in quantifiable terms what it is you're going to do this year to help us to achieve that mission statement. And if it's not quantifiable enough, I'm going to send you back and send you back and send you back until you get it right. And so they'd take it. They'd come back. And, sometimes they'd be something like really, generic, like I want people to feel good about the organization. I'm saying, well, that's not good enough. You need to go back and work on that. And sometimes they'd come back 2 and 3 times before I got something that I really liked. But we had secretaries do that. We had employees do that. We had everybody that worked in our department. Everybody that worked in our department or was engaged with us in our work, like the receptionist who basically was answering the phone on behalf of the organization. She became a part of this process because she was representing us when people were directing, their calls towards the area of organizational development where we were located. And then after it was all said and done, I'd sign it and they'd sign it. And then I'd take it and I'd put it into a folder, into their employee folder, and put it into a filing cabinet. And when we did annual performance reviews, I didn't measure them in terms of, subjective factors that really have no relevance to the fulfillment of the mission statement. I mean, there were subjective factors, if you don't get along with somebody, we might want to talk about that. But what I'm really concerned about is how you are contributing to what it is that we're doing as a whole. And so the measure was not, trying to criticize them unduly, but it was to get them to realize that they were part of a team, and if we don't all function as a team, we're not going to be able to accomplish as a team what it is that we have the capacity of being able to do. And it was the greatest thing that we've ever done, I think, from my perspective. Of all the things that I've ever done, I thought that was one of the greatest things that had the greatest impact, because all of a sudden they realized that they were here for a purpose, and that was to help us to fulfill our mission. And that was really a good thing. And they loved the performance reviews, not because, usually you go into a performance review, you don't know what anybody's going to say. But here we were just looking at things, and it wasn't criticism. We had performance reviews that were on a quarterly basis because we wanted to track how we were doing. How are we doing in this area? Well, I'm not doing good. Well, how can I help you? And so now it becomes a team effort and not necessarily a dictatorship where I'm going to, blast them if they don't do something that I thought they were responsible for doing. Everybody knows what they're doing, and they know what it is that they're expected, and they're a part of a team that basically wants to help them to make it become reality.